Hello, welcome to the BBGun school. I'm MORK, and today I'm going to share you my vision on a pair of effects.
Hello, your computer has...
Let's start off with the disperser, which is one of my favorites. This is a very strange effect. As you can see, it has two knobs, a pinch knob and an amount knob. Let's say we keep the pinch all the way down, which is, in my opinion, the best way to use this effect. Sorry, there's a burp in the way. What the disperser does is very simple. It gives a latency to whatever is underneath of the line. Everything that is above the line, which is this area, and everything, well, above, comes first, and the rest gets a latency. I don't know if you can see the kind of line that goes down there. It shows what latency frequencies get. So imagine if we were to put it somewhere here. I think you can already see in my visualizer what it does quite well. If I turn it on, of course. Yeah, you can hear it quite well too. It gives a clear latency to the low end right here. If we turn it off, that completely disappears. This is an effect which is very often used to make laser sounds, or pew pew sounds as we call them. And you can especially start to notice this as you put the slider up. It gets this very clippy sound at the start. Well, that is basically my vision on disperser, so let's move on to the frequency shifter, which is, in my opinion, the weirdest one yet. It is very simple too, but hard to explain. What it does, it is a very similar effect to the ring mod. And ring modulation splits up frequencies in different waveforms. Both frequency shift and ring mod do this, but they do it differently. As a ring mod simultaneously pitches frequencies up or down, frequency shifter pushes them away from each other, which is a very strange effect, and it gives a strange effect. Well, I just said effect twice, my bad. Well, it's hard to show and hard to explain, because this is, in my opinion, one of the hardest plugins to actually be able to tell you what it exactly does, because it's a hella weird one. So let's just move on to ring modulation, where you can kind of see what I just said. It simultaneously pitches down or up frequencies. And you can clearly see that as I start to tweak the frequency knob. You see these two peaks appear. This effect, the ring mod, can either completely mess up your sound or give it a very unique effect. In my opinion, whenever I turn up the bias, things start to sound better, because it adds, instead of two peaks, it adds a third peak, which is it's a lower peak. What makes it even grittier is the rectify, because it starts to add up high frequencies that weren't there before. And yeah, I can't really explain much more about it. It just adds more higher frequencies in the same rate as these. It's an effect I love, so let's just keep that. Then distortion, which is not very hard to explain, I think. What it does is it adds content that wasn't there before. What most plugins actually do, but distortion does it in a unique way. It although you can distort low end really well, um, distorted subs are not distorted low end. Distorted subs, which the thick bass that you hear in trap music and in rhythm music, is mid frequencies and high frequencies adding up with the bass frequencies, and that is what distortion does. It adds mid frequencies and high frequencies that weren't there before. You can clearly hear that when I tweak up the heart clip. It's a very harsh effect, and this is why you should always limit basses that you distort. Because if you were to use saturation, which does a very similar effect, by the way, like all of them, they just all do it a tiny bit different. You can see that it starts to peak quite high, and this is why you want to limit sub, because when making music, you should actually keep your sound in between -6 decibels and 0 decibels. And I mean, if you search this up, the decibels that they recommend is -6 decibels, which in my opinion is not very loud. While you can actually put your music on -6 decibels and still make it loud, and I haven't discovered that yet, but it's some kind of dark magic. I don't know what it is. But let's move on to one effect that I bought about 2 weeks ago, which is the one it's one that makes sounds terrifying. That's its purpose. But what I like to use it for is for sub, because it gives sub a reesing effect, which is quite interesting actually, because it wasn't meant for that. You can already hear it right here. It starts to give a very wubby reesing effect. I know absolutely nothing about this plugin and what it exactly does, but it makes things sound absolutely crooked. Like, this is just a single note. I do like to use this one for atmospheres too, especially when making scores and OSTs for especially games or movies. This is a good one to have to make very terrifying atmospheres. But it's a good one to use for reesing stuff too, because you can sample this and distort the fuck out of it and use it in the track. It's amazing. Let's move on to transient shapers. Oh. Transient shapers are not that hard to explain, I think, especially in the way I use it. I don't use the pump knob, neither desustain. Sometimes I use desustain for when I'm making future rhythm or any other type of plucky rhythm where you want to cut off a bit of the last part. But other than that, this is mostly used for drums, and it's very simple to display on an equalizer. What it does is it does do a similar effect to the disperser, but it doesn't delay the low end. It just gives everything a tiny little pump on the beginning, which is the exact reason why you should limit your sub drums, because this thing, especially with the clip mode on, you're telling the plugin to make it clip, and that's not exactly what you want. You do want it to clip, but let it clip in a limiter. You can clearly hear it there. If I turn it down, it's a sweet little sine wave. Now it kind of punches. Let's move on to the delay. Delay is I guess most of you know what it does. It delays sounds. So what a lot of rhythm producers use it for these days is the fast delay, which creates its own tonality, and with that effect you get a very metallic effect. and you can start to hear the self tonality as I tweak the delay down. It's very minimal and on the background, but you can clearly hear the delay starting to form its own tonality. And I'm personally not too big of a fan of this one specifically. It's cool on a lower type for this type of shit, but I don't like the metallic stuff. Neither with any rhythm sound or whatever. I'm just not too big of a fan of metallic stuff. I guess that was it for today. I could try to use this in my advance and to show you what you can do with it. Yeah, let's just do that. Just like last video, I'll just be using percussion sounds and nothing else, because just because I can. What we're gonna do is yeah, let's just use channel 10. Let's just take a little percussion sound, cut off the entire beginning till you have a little shot, then turn the out knob till you have a very small shot, which is exactly what we want. Let's plug that one into 10, my bad. And let's give it some just a tiny little pattern to listen to it. Then turn on some disperser. You can already start to hear that pew pew kind of delay-ish effect, which is what the disperser does. Let's give it some frequency shifter too, -100. Oh gosh, I love frequency shifters so much. Some distortion, not too much. Some of this. So I'm just really not a fan of that. Let's see what other effects can I use to just pump this up a little bit. Let's make it a tiny bit wider with my de-wider knob. It's a little too wide. Let's take another shot. Let's shorten this and put it in 10 as well. Tweak it up. Give that a 140 BPM just to make it cool. Maybe take it from another pack and yeah. No. That's a nice one. I like that. Let's reverse that. No. That in 10 as well. And when making these type of patterns, which is quite easy, just to get this very well gun type of pattern, just click the little magnet, put it on 1/3 step, and just make a little pattern like that before it hits. Well, One way to make patterns like these more interesting is by adding reverb. I already showed this last video, but I'm going to do it again. Make a little reverb automation like this, just to add that tiny bit of tension to. And last but not least, remove all the fucking low end. You do not want any low end in your main sound, because that's gonna mess with the sub. Ah, that's too much, right? Ooh, like that. Let's play on with the pogo with this one. There we go. Make it a bit shorter. Maybe tune it down. Take this one. I'm just messing around, by the way. This is just me trying out percussive sounds. There we go. And add a little more of that. This could be a perfect fake out. Whatever. Well, I could be turning this in an entire drop, but I don't think I have the will for that. Maybe I do. Well, let's just do it. Okay. Let's grab some drums. Get some good old drums. Fuck. Got a good little kick. When working with kicks, make sure to shorten the kick. I don't know if I explained it last video, but put the transient to generic. Go and make it just make it small until it has this tiny little tail, because you do not want a long tail. Keep him short. So let's just keep that short. Then I have to sidechain everything again. On there. No, that's a lot. I don't like snares. Snares. My bad. Don't judge me if I'm a messy producer. I know I am. What I like to do too is, instead of making this hit at the same time as the kick hits, just move it a bit to the front. Give it that tiny latency. Let's move this one to this place right here. Now we're going to punch the kick with some transient shapers. So put the transient shaper on the kick and make it clip. Just turn up the attack, and all of a sudden you have a snappy kick. Ta-da! So cool. Now we're going to do the same with the snares. My bad. I keep saying snaz. And remove the low end, not too much, and snap it up a little with a transient shaper too. and just copy paste this shit. I'm too fucking lazy. Fuck. Yeah, there we go. Alright, now we're gonna add some sub. So, I already had a serum in here with a sub node. There we go. It's this one if I'm right. We do have to tweak this up. There we go. Low sub node. And give it that distortion. Add a little bit of the oscillator. There we go. I'm tired as fuck, bro. Ta-da, sub. Let's just add that and make a little sidechain channel. Normally I don't work like this. I have a whole template that I made myself where I have all these like names structured and sidechain already in there, but I didn't use that one for this project, so sidechain. We're gonna add number 10 to, let's give this a little color to number 10 to this one, fuck, to this one and to this one. Then we're gonna put a where are you, a fruity balance, make it just as big as that kick right there, and just make a little automation clip and just give it this shape. There we go. Let's see, copy paste that. Copy paste again. I'm lazy as fuck today. Well, actually always lazy. There we go. Let's see, I do want to add something more tonal to it, so wait, let's just use cymatic samples. I'm gonna do something fucking terrible, where, yeah, let's just go into future based starter pack. Do we have any one shots, like whatever, percussion shit, drums, percussion, maybe that one. Oh, who knows? Maybe it'll sound cool. Let's shorten that like this. And let's keep the pogo normal. I don't like the position of these. Yes, I'm a snail producer. I'm fucking slow. Let's see. Nah, this sounds like dick. Sucks. Let's see. Maybe we can use some percussion samples here. Okay, this kind of sounds cool, but it's like a whole damn switch up. Like, what the fuck? That's better. Let's just do that. Okay, that is so fucking awful. Let's add one more sound, and then I'm gonna add some hi-hats and shit. Sounds so fucking weird. Okay, let's keep this, and now let's just add some hi-hats to finish this up. Just use some loops. There we go. I use these a lot because they're absolutely awesome, and I'm fucking lazy because I don't do my own hi-hats. Confession. And let's of course cut this shit right there. Fucking Christ. No, I don't want to stretch that. Sounds weird. Maybe it's because of my fucked up pattern. I don't like the place of this one. And let's finally, the last thing I'm going to do, and then I'm going to close down this video, is pitch down this sub at the end. That's the last thing I'm going to do before I close down this video. So let's just make a line like that, then go to the matrix, LFO2, and master tune, and take this to a bar and make a little tweak here and tweak it up. What essentially happens here is this looks like it's going up, but it's pushing the pitch down at the end. And last thing I'm gonna do is add disperser to the sub. Yeah, well, okay, that was, I think that was this video. I hope my visions on the effects at least meant something. If you have any questions or whatever, or you want me to re-explain something, just let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video, and this patch or this whole thing will I will put in I will export this, and it will be available in the BBGun school Discord. Ta-da! BBGun lesson 2. Here we go.